Dying Light 2 isn't just any other zombie game. It's like Mario, where the floor is lava and everything can be drop kicked. It's Dying Light 1, refined and reworked. Some mechanics have been removed, simplified or replaced, but what they have done here is craft the ultimate first-person parkour experience. I haven't had this much fun platforming in an open world game since Assassin's Creed Unity. Parkour is back and it's more exhilarating than ever. The new animations are great. There is always different paths to run. When running at night, the adrenaline is tangible. The dynamic music works wonders for the immersion. The grapple look is far more tactile than the previous version, and the paraglider is my personal favourite new addition to the Night Runner's arsenal. Combat is fundamentally the same. It lacks some features from the first game, including firearms, but retains bows and crossbows as the only ranged alternative. The sequel expands the moveset with new animations and additions, such as block, parry and takedowns. Stealth is new, but it's not great, as the AI pathfinding and detection systems are subpar. Despite that, you might still find it useful in specific scenarios. RPG elements are fine. I never had an issue with enemy scaling. Crafting can now be done on the go, and the UI has seen great improvements. The new skill tree has been simplified and the gear system adequately complements the survival mechanics. Gameplay is objectively the strongest aspect of Dying Light 2. The world of Villedor is vast, dense and designed around the fundamental mechanics. Villedor boasts greater architectural intricacies and more structural variety than Haran ever did. The map is almost perfect size. The city is full of explorable buildings with hidden rooms and secrets to uncover. Factions have their own unique territory and each region has something to offer. There are multiple enemy factions, zombies, quests and collectibles to find in abundance. Easter eggs are even better in the sequel, but I won't spoil any here. The quality of each activity varies, but I enjoyed almost everything I engaged with. World design and mechanics marry perfectly, encouraging exploration through sheer enjoyment of its gameplay systems. Rooftops are colourful, vibrant and full of gamified interconnected routes for parkour, juxtaposed by gritty streets, dreary interiors and immersive world design. Night combat and chases are still intense, but feel a little weaker than the first game. Volatiles are seldom seen in the open world, if ever. This may be due to the I Am Legend inspired zombie system, leaving the streets scarcely populated during the day and littered at night. World design is a vast improvement over the first game. Quite a contrast from the first game. The sequel embraces bright, colourful scenery in an overgrown city where nature has reclaimed the horizon. Yet the city streets are decayed, bleak, and especially foreboding at night. The contrast in open world design directly affects the aesthetic, and vice versa. Dying Light 2 looks great. It won't blow you away, but it's a substantial improvement with beautiful vistas. When the audio hasn't glitched, it's great. Voice acting is generally good, but fluctuates depending on the importance of the character, and sound effects are mostly consistent. The soundtrack is fantastic. French composer Olivier de Rivière, I think I said it right, amazing name by the way if that's correct, has created his greatest work to date. The music elevates the experience even more so than the first game. gameplay is Dying Light 2's greatest facet, then its narrative is its weakest link. Development was unequivocally troublesome, and as a result of this mess, tragically the narrative, which was a huge focus, in tragic fashion was affected greatly. And I can only surmise that Techland had a masterful, albeit overambitious vision, and for a myriad of reasons they were just overwhelmed by the task. Although the weakest part of the first game was also the narrative, so the writers may be the weakest link. However, there were many memorable moments and key decisions that pulled me through the fog. Due to segregated progression, I played the game twice in co-op. This allowed me to discover new narrative paths and consequences, and co-op specific bugs that broke a few quests during both playthroughs. Servers were dire at launch. Some missions almost break when playing with friends, and boss battles are a joke in co-op because there is no enemy scaling. I still had a lot of laughs and enjoyed my time in co-op, but as of writing it's still partially broken. The choice system does impact the story at key events, and the open world changes depending on the faction. These choices directly impact the ending, of which there are many, making the game far more replayable and interesting than its predecessor. There is a caveat, of course. Choices only matter during these few key events, and most dialogue options don't seem to affect the game at all. At one point in the game, a voice will appear out the speakers, directly referencing current world events, alluding to the game being an allegory for the pandemic. Make of that what you will. Side quests range in quality, and are varied and numerous. My personal favourites were the quirky and outlandish. One quest giver tells you about his fish that taught him life lessons. Another implores you to take part in a post-apocalyptic dating network of sorts. I'm glad Techland retained this fun side from the first game. It does clash with the gritty nature, but also adds life to an otherwise undead world. I recently finished Dying Light again just prior to launch, and although it's a great game, I do believe this has a far more engaging narrative, even if the first game has a more cohesive structure. That said, Dying Light 2 has good moments, but ultimately misses the mark of what it aims to achieve in the narrative. It's Dying Light 2.0, and that's all I ever wanted. Gameplay has been refined, the open world is vastly superior to its predecessor, and most quests are engaging, narrative pitfalls aside. This game was indeed rushed, and suffers from various glitches and quest bugs. However, this, along with the narrative shortcomings, did not ruin my experience. I understand why many may pass on this game, but the gameplay is worth your time alone. Regardless of its many faults, I do recommend Dying Light 2.
A tale of heroes for our two war heroes on their special day. A story of the secret language of the Night Runners.
Praise to the Night Runners!
But we must remember the perilous life we lead. So this reminds us of the horrors that must be faced with the brave hearts of heroes. A stranger appeared, leaping, swinging, climbing in ways never seen before. He bore no weapons. He wore no armor. He made a promise to rid the city of the creature. The city laughed. What are you gonna do? You leap prettily about. What shall you use to slay this creature? Harsh language? I am a Night Runner. I hold the secret language of the inhibitors.
Praise to the Night Runners!